So whatever we do, the coalition building we've got to do, and this is ARP's job and our job together, is to do a better job of sitting down in middle-class communities with people as they age to help them not only plan for their retirement, but to fight for the very programs that they need to keep them in their homes and out of nursing homes. 1% of people under 65 have any form of long-term care insurance. 8% of people over 65 have it. People are dramatically underinsured, and frankly, the class program, as good as it is not going to catch up fast enough because it doesn't get into full force for another few years. So the fight is now, and the organizing has to happen now. So the second point I want to make is that as Californians, in building the coalitions we need to build, we need to talk more to middle-class people over the age of 50. They've got to get it. They've got to get it when they see someone fighting for IHSS and the benefits that people need at IHSS, that fight for that person is their struggle and their fight. And that is a key strategic point that we need to plan to do. So other concrete ideas. We need to do a better job of not only strengthening our presence in the Capitol, but reporting what is going on in the Capitol. Since I've been in Sacramento, we've hired somebody brand new, or just 2 years ago, to beef up what we call the Capitol Action Team. The Capitol Action Team we're probably up to maybe 40 volunteers. They meet during the legislative session. First they read all Marty's stuff every day. This is my hero, Marty Morgan. After they read Marty's stuff every day, they gather every Thursday in our office on L Street, which I'd love to have you come visit sometime. And they plan out the following week. Is the health committee meeting, is budget meeting, is the insurance committee meeting, et cetera, et cetera. And they plan out lobbying steps for the following week. Okay? So we are building a structure in Sacramento of professional staff and volunteers. If you're in Sacramento or the greater metropolitan area of Sacramento, we would love for you to be part of that. We would love for you to be part of ARP's operation on a daily and weekly basis, to join the Capitol Action Team to help us in the daily work that we do. They have floor assignments, and they have, in fact, the way they're organized is that they've got a captain for each floor in the Capitol, and then we also have people that are in charge of watching specific committees. We plan to start another feature that we're going to do through the Capitol Action Team is both tweeting specific actions and votes out to our membership and out to constituents, so that on a day-to-day basis we are watching the conduct of our elected officials. The second thing is that we are building what we call a district captain system. We have 40 Senate districts in California, as you know, and 80 Assembly districts and 53 House districts. We are building teams in every single district responsible of constituents and community leaders responsible for holding their elected officials, their assembly members, and their state senators and their House members accountable. By December, we will be announcing a number of training opportunities all around the state on 4 different topics. The first one is how to build and organize your district team, how to plan advocacy campaigns and nonpartisan election campaigns, Issues 101, and the 4th topic will be an internet and advocacy. We're going to start an advocacy, lack of a better term, training academy in California that is mobile, that does webcasts, that has a schedule that everybody can know about, so that we can learn the tools and enhance the tools it takes to fight the fight we need to do. How many people here are on Facebook? How many people here on Facebook report your birthday? Or tell everybody about the wedding you went to last week? Or report on the wonderful pasta you had in your favorite Italian place? How many people use Facebook to report votes in Assembly and State Senate committees? Would you agree with me that California is ahead of Wisconsin? Wisconsin has a Facebook page for every congressional district in their state, sponsored by AARP. Wisconsin tracks the behavior of their House members on Facebook. I propose to you as an innovative thing that we need to do. I mean, I love Facebook, and I'm up there tripping on baseball stuff, and I'm talking about all the social things that we need to do. But I propose that this coming legislative year, we do a Facebook page that reports on the behavior of our elected officials. Not the big stuff, but the small stuff. And let me give you a couple of, is there a question? And, yeah, I was going to get to that. Yeah. You could tweet me to tell me to do it if you want. Not the big stuff, not just the big stuff, but the small stuff. Let me tell you a couple of things. And you know, Marty's got 100, you've all got 100 stories like this. We were fighting a bill about 6 months ago, sponsored by Mr. Calderon from Southern California, Senator Calderon from Southern California. And the bill would have, in the course of about 3 or 4 years, literally decontrolled or forced killed rent control for mobile home parks in California. It would have been incremental, it would have not been done right away, but it was a slow decay for that protection. As you know, mobile home parks are almost the last vestige of affordable housing in California. And so Calderon is working with the mobile home park owners and had this bill, and he was sitting in front of the Housing Committee on the Assembly side, chaired by Assemblywoman Torres. And anyway, so he was in the hearing, and he said, and it was just a bizarre statement, and it was so bizarre it really got us off guard. You know what he said? He said, "Those aren't homes. These people are just living in their cars." You know, and I'm sitting there and I'm saying, what we need is a mechanism that tweets that kind of stuff, that reports that kind of stuff. I propose that we get it together, that we work together to do a better job on the internet. So that, I'll tell you another story. When I first moved to Sacramento, I was in the Capitol one afternoon, and there was a consumer group that was fighting for a bill to cap the amount of value that a pharmaceutical company could give a doctor. They wanted to cap it at $250 a year. As you know, doctors can go out on golf soirees and God knows what, paid for by the pharmaceutical company, and then guess what? They wind up pushing their pink pills or their green pills on patients. So there was this bill that is authored by Assemblymember Fuhrer, and it was a fascinating moment to watch in the Capitol. Here you had small contingent of consumer groups, and then you had the pharma folks. And it was the gentlemen and gentle ladies in gray suits. And they were very well coiffed, and they were very smart. And you saw this committee hearing up there. And all of a sudden, all the seats were taken, and all of a sudden, as it got closer to the vote, and the lobbyists were moving around, you saw a person get out, leave their chair, and go through the back door and leave. And all of a sudden, there wasn't a quorum. And all of a sudden, the bill died. That should have been tweeted. That should have been tweeted, that the fact that some people that are friends to all of us in this room vacated that day. Some Democrats did, as well as a number of Republicans, many of whom some of whom have been friends on other issues, vacated that room and just let this, because they didn't want to vote publicly with the pharmaceuticals, okay, but they also didn't want to offend probably what was somewhat their funding base. So here's my point. My point is we need to do a better job of using the technology we've got to report on the day-to-day stuff. I suggest that we formulate ways to have a Facebook page to track the behavior of every assembly member and every state senator in Sacramento, so that you can instantly tell the constituents there what's going on day to day. So here's the bottom line when thinking about senior programs. It's not going to be pretty for the next few years. We're going to have a very, very hard Social Security fight. We're going to be fighting in Congress to preserve the gains. Some members who voted against the health care bill, as bizarre as this sounds, called class a Ponzi scheme. Yep.
Say again.
So we're going to be fighting on two fronts, on the state front and on the national front. I think that, as I said earlier, I know that the interests of this community, both providers and beneficiaries, are the interests of day-to-day middle-class seniors, ARP members over the age of 50. I am committed, as a person from ARP, to doing a better job. But we need to work closer together. We need to have our tactical ground game down. We need to know that there is leadership, day-to-day, week-to-week, in every district in California, holding them accountable. Do you know that since 2000, in 53 House seats, in 40 state Senate seats, and 80 Assembly seats, there's only been one change of party in one seat? And I don't know, my guess is that fewer than 3 incumbents in that entire composition have actually lost. Has actually lost. Some people in this room oppose Prop 11. But Prop 11 creates a citizens commission so that the people can choose their politicians, not the politicians choosing the people, their voters. What will happen as this year gets going is that the Citizens Commission for Redistricting, which is a result of Prop 11, will eliminate gerrymandering from California and create 40 Senate districts and 80 Assembly districts pursuant to the census, as is required every year under the Constitution. And our hope from that is that it will force more accountability and more competition at the electoral level. For nonpartisan groups, for groups that care about issues, that can be an enormous opportunity. Because it won't just be these gerrymandered districts where people have crafted their own sort of geography to keep them in office. It will be an opportunity for citizen power like we have never seen or we have not seen. The fact that so few incumbents in the last 10 years have been threatened at all or have been forced out of office because of the vote of the people is something that we need to fix, and we can fix that through Prop 11. Can you imagine being able to look back at the voting records in every committee, at the absentee records in every committee, because we had people there, because we were tweeting it, because we were Facebooking it, because we were recording it, and then saying during the election cycle in candidate forums and in voter guides, Senator, you weren't there for that vote. Why should we bring you back? Assembly member, you weren't there with us. You walked out of the room because the ladies and gentlemen in gray from Pharma winked at you, and you left the room on a vote that consumers cared about. So I think that the future is as bleak as it is, that there are enormous opportunities to organize, to plan and execute tactically, and to be strategic. Through more competitive elections, through the compelling needs of people for long-term care and home and community-based care as California ages, and we all know that it is, I think that we can build the kinds of strength and coalition and muscle in the communities that can change the face of California. I want to leave you with one quote that means a lot to me. My early days professionally started with United Farm Workers. I had the distinct honor and of course the honor to have actually been with Cesar Chavez a few times.